So the game I'm playing today is called SkiFree. That's right, I'm back on my retro BS once again, ladies and gentlemen. Bringing to you all a cult classic PC game that many of you have probably heard of, and might have even played if you're a gamer of a certain age. So SkiFree, as its name would imply, is a skiing game. You control this little skier dude on the screen right here. You can control him with either the cursor or the arrow keys. Although I would personally recommend using the arrow keys because trying to control him with the cursor is next to impossible. And the premise of this game is that you're just skiing down a mountain pretty much. There's 3 different game modes to choose from. You have Slalom, Freestyle, or Tree Slalom. So Slalom is basically a time trial course where you have to ski through a bunch of signs, and you have to ski through them on a very specific side given the arrow on the sign. So if you come across a sign that has a left arrow on it, you have to ski to the left of it, and for a right arrow, you have to ski to the right of it. Pretty simple. The overall objective of that game mode is to slalom through all of these different signs and just get to the finish as fast as you can. If you end up skiing through a sign the wrong way, then you will receive a time penalty. Freestyle is a mode where you have to perform tricks to score as many points as possible. There isn't really a trick system in this game, though. In order to make your little skier dude perform tricks, you basically have to mash the arrow keys. Left and right arrow keys make him spin, and the up and down arrow keys can make him do front flips and back flips. It is possible to wipe out, though, if you land the trick poorly, and if you do end up wiping out, then points will be deducted from your score. And Tree Slalom is pretty much the same thing as the slalom course, except this time you have to navigate through a whole bunch of trees. Is there anything else you can do at all in this game besides those 3 game modes? Well, you can choose to ignore these signs altogether, because the thing is, you have to pass through these signs if you want to actually select a specific game mode. But if you just want to go for like a little, I guess you could say free run, where you can do pretty much whatever you want, almost like a sandbox mode, then you can just avoid the signs altogether, and the game doesn't penalize you for doing that. You can press the F3 key to pause the game at any time, and F2 to restart. Now, why exactly am I choosing to play this game today of all things? Because even for my standards, this seems to be a fairly bizarre selection. Well, as I've mentioned before, SkiFree is actually a pretty well-known game within the PC gaming space. This game originally came out all the way back in 1991, and it was originally designed for Windows 3.0 computers. It was also released commercially. This was not just a random freeware game that you could download, although it is technically a freeware game that you can download now, but I'll talk more about that later on. So most of you will probably remember this game from the various Microsoft Entertainment Packs that were released throughout the early 90s. SkiFree was featured in the 3rd Entertainment Pack specifically. And since the game's release almost 30 years ago, it has garnered somewhat of a cult following. And the reason for that is not necessarily because of the gameplay, because the gameplay is fairly simplistic, even for 1991, I feel. But this game is more fondly remembered for a very specific creature that you encounter once you make it to a certain point down the mountain. I'm of course talking about the infamous Yeti creature that appears when you make it to the 2,000 meter mark. The Yeti is pretty much what most people remember SkiFree for. You have to try and outrun him as best as you can, because if he ends up catching up to you, he eats you. He doesn't even hesitate for a second, he literally just devours you whole. And the only thing you can do after that is just restart the game, pretty much. So not only is SkiFree a sports game, it's also kind of like a survival horror game to some degree. You could go as far as to consider SkiFree an endless runner as well, because it definitely has some of the trappings of the genre. Because the thing about SkiFree's mountain range is that it doesn't actually have a definitive ending, it loops on itself indefinitely. And I've seen some people argue in the past that because of this mechanic, SkiFree could be considered a prototype of the Endless Runner, a genre that only really started to receive mainstream popularity when games like Temple Run and Cannibal came along. I've also seen some people say that SkiFree could also be considered an early example of the casual game genre. So I think it goes without saying that SkiFree might be one of the most important video games ever made. It probably is, although I feel like people are basing that more on their personal perspective than objective facts. So with that being said, how's about we actually try to play SkiFree here for a little while, and since there isn't that much to talk about regarding this game, I am gonna try and make this video as short and sweet as I can possibly make it. So if you look in the top right hand corner of the screen right here, you'll see that the game does keep track of your time, but only if you're playing the slalom or tree slalom courses. If you choose the freestyle mode, it will instead show you the distance remaining until you cross the finish line. It also shows your speed in meters per second, and it also shows your score, which is the little style indicator right here. I don't believe it keeps track of your style points unless you choose the freestyle mode. So with that being said, let's get to skiing here. So I am not going to choose anything right now because I would like to go and just do a little, you know, just do a little bit of like free run skiing, I guess you could say. I also have to avoid that that starting line as well. So it also keeps track of the amount of distance that you've traveled down the mountain too. And I did mention before that once you get to the 2,000 meter mark, then the abominable snowman, or the Yeti, because frankly that's a much better name, he's gonna come charging after you. So there's a few things that I want to mention right here. So you'll notice that there are some slalom signs that we can travel through if we want, or we can like try to ski through, but since we're not in a slalom course, or we didn't select that game mode, then nothing's gonna trigger when we try to go past them. Now as you can see that as you're traversing the mountain, there are various obstacles that you're gonna have to avoid, and some of the obstacles in question include trees, rocks, little snow bumps. There's also dogs as well, but I don't believe the dogs actually trip you up at all. I think what the dogs do is that if you run into them, they literally just bark at you, and that's all they do. Although I did hear something about if you crash into a certain number of dogs, it'll instead leave behind a puddle of yellow snow, although I have no idea how valid that claim is because I didn't try doing that myself when I was playing this off screen. If you want to know what these little rainbows are, like these little rainbow lines are in the snow as well, those are ramps, and your skier will jump off of the ramps automatically. There isn't a specific key that you press in order to jump off the ramps. However, there is a key for jumping. You can literally just left click in order to jump. I have no idea what that was. I think I literally just jumped off a rock. You also have to avoid other skiers on the mountain here as well. You'll notice them right here. It is possible to trip those guys up as well, and they too are also affected by the obstacles, so you can actually see them tumbling down as well if they end up colliding with something. Also, there are certain trees that will just move on their own, I'm assuming in an attempt to try and ambush you. It is possible to turn your skier a full 90 degrees, and then if you press the up arrow key, you can actually move back up the mountain, although very slowly. Yeah, because you can't turn him around entirely, you can only really turn him around like 270 degrees. Or not even, you can only turn him 180 degrees. Sorry, I don't know how directions work, apparently. You'll also occasionally see some snowboarders traveling down the mountain, and they're arguably the fastest obstacles that you have to try and avoid, because keep in mind that the skiers and snowboarders, the other ones that you see on the mountain, they can collide with you as well, and they can trip you up. The snowboarders are especially difficult to avoid though, because they just move so damn fast for some reason. So this is pretty much all you're doing. You're just, you know, skiing down the mountain, trying to avoid trees and some of the other people who are also snowboarding. Yeah, see? There's one guy going past us right there. There's also various ski lifts that are scattered throughout the mountain as well, and you have to avoid colliding with those too. So we are getting to the 2,000 meter point right here, and the Yeti is going to come after us in just a moment. But before we do that, I would like to show off another feature. If you press the F key, you get a significant boost to speed. And I still crash into a tree either way. Yeah, so there we go, there's the Yeti right over there. So I discovered that if you just keep on jumping continuously, you can pretty much outrun the Yeti. Of course, don't crash into any obstacles along the way, otherwise the Yeti will catch up to you and he will just eat you entirely. But yes, if you press the F key, then you get a significant boost to speed, and this lasts for about as long as you want it to. You can just press the F key again in order to re-enable the normal speed. But I believe, yeah, if you combine this with the ramps, you can get, like, extreme air off the freaking ramps right here. It's actually pretty incredible. I think if you jump, you can also, like, yeah, you can do, like, 360s as well, just by jumping. You don't even need to have, like, a ramp, or you don't need to launch yourself off a ramp. But yeah, when you have this much speed, though, and you jump off a ramp, yeah, you're gonna just, like, get launched into space, pretty much. Look at that. There we go, I actually landed it. I think I did a flip. I don't know, it's kind of difficult to tell what kind of tricks I'm performing exactly. Again, I don't think there's any specific tricks that you can perform. I think it's just like a combination of spins and flips. and that's pretty much it. So yeah, SSX this is not. Or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, for that matter. So let's see if we can actually notice the, or let's see if we can get a better look at the Yeti right here. To see where exactly he's at. Yeah, so he's coming along. He's coming along. Oh my god, what is he doing, actually? Yeah, so there he is. He's just trying to come after you. Just trying to come after you. Yeah, I crash into a tree, and then he just devours me. There we go. Just turns me into his afternoon snack, pretty much. Then he just kind of jumps around, and nothing else happens after that. The game basically soft locks until you decide to press a key, and then you just go back to the mountaintop, and that's about it. That's pretty much the end game of SkiFree. When the Yeti eats you, that's it. You're done. It's kind of funny how he doesn't seem to give a damn about the other skiers and snowboarders on the mountain. I don't know, man. I mean, you have so many other people that you could devour instead of me, but you choose to target me specifically. I don't know. That kind of seems like targeted harassment to me. Oh, and by the way, if you somehow manage to outrun the Yeti for a certain amount of time, eventually there will be another Yeti that spawns. So at that point, you'll have 2 Yetis hot on your tail. Then it becomes even more difficult to outrun them. But now I want to show off some of the different game modes that you can play here. So I want to show off Slalom right here, so you have to go through this this start position right here, those start signs, in order to actually begin the game. So I have to literally just slalom through all these signs. There we go. Just have to go to the right when it's telling me to, and go to the left when it tells me to go to the left. And if I did it correctly, the sign will actually turn into a green smiley face, and oh god, wait a second, there we go. There we go. This is a lot easier to control with the arrow keys. I believe you can also use the numpad keys as well, and it did tell you, or there are instructions at the very top telling you that you can also use the numpad keys as well, because I think that's what this game was originally designed for. But keep in mind, and you're probably wondering how exactly I'm even playing this game to begin with, considering that this is essentially an old DOS game from the early 90s. Well, this is actually an updated version of SkiFree that came out in 2005, if I'm not mistaken, and this version of the game was released by the guy who originally made SkiFree. And I think his name is Chris Piri, or Pire, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce his last name. By the way, I got a time of 42 seconds on that slalom course. I think that could definitely be improved, though. I did hesitate at one of the signs I had to pass through, because I almost missed it entirely. Like I stated before, if you pass through one of the signs incorrectly, you will receive a time penalty, and I think the time penalty you receive for passing through each individual sign the wrong way is about 5 or 6 seconds. But yeah, Chris Piri, the guy who originally made SkiFree, has an official website that is actually still online even to this day, because it's been online for quite some time. But he has an official website where you can download a 32-bit edition of SkiFree, which is compatible with more modern Windows operating systems. So no longer do you need a Windows 3.0 compatible computer in order to play SkiFree. And the best part is that the game is completely free to download. So if you want to go and start playing SkiFree at any time, well, you can just go to the official website of the game, or I guess technically Chris Piri's official website, just download the game, and you'll be able to play SkiFree. Like, you can start playing almost immediately. I can confirm that the game does indeed work on Windows 10, otherwise I wouldn't be able to record this video at all, like I wouldn't be able to make this video, obviously. So yeah, if you want to relive some nostalgic days of yore, as it were, then yeah, you can go and download SkiFree right now. See, this is what I mean though, like, you could have very easily eaten this guy who's just lying dead on the ground, but no, you decide to eat me instead. I don't understand. Why are you sparing him and not me? I don't get it. Do you have a vendetta for me or something? Like a personal vendetta? Doesn't make sense. What also doesn't really make sense to me is the fact that this guy's skin is apparently like a cyan color. Apparently all the skiers in this game are aliens or something, because I don't think the snowboarders even look like that. I think the snowboarders actually have a normal skin tone, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of weird. I haven't been able to make it too far down the mountain in order to see the other Yeti spawn in, though. So I've never actually seen that myself before. It's not like I really care too much either way. I mean, the only way that you can really outrun the Yeti is by cheating, pretty much, because I think a lot of people do consider using the F key to gain more speed as a cheat, or like a lot of people consider it to be a cheat. I don't know if it's actually possible to outrun the Yeti when you're just moving at normal speed. Pressing the F key in order to speed things up definitely helps, but I don't know, maybe it is possible to just do it normally. I wouldn't know. My attention span is not long enough to be spending like 3 hours just playing this game non-stop. No, I have things to do, people to see, places to go. Okay, I guess there is actually different tricks that you can perform, because what was that I just performed, actually? I didn't even notice that. We are doing the freestyle mode now, by the way, because it's actually keeping track of my style points, and it's also showing me my distance from the bottom of the mountain. So I gotta find some ramps here, and I really need to, like, scout these ramps out, for goodness sakes, because I can't, yeah, it's not gonna tell me where they are. I have to find them on my own. I wonder if I can just, like, repeatedly mash the arrow keys in order to get, like, all the style points. Yeah, it seems like I do. And as I've stated before, if you screw up, then there will be points deducted from your overall score here. There we go. I think I actually did a flip correctly. Yeah, what was this? Like, oh yeah, there we go. It's kind of like... I didn't even know what that move is, but this definitely looks like an SSX move, though. I'm getting a lot of style points for it, so maybe I should just keep repeating it. There we go. Look at all the style points. I keep, like, falling flat on my face and dying all the time, though, so I don't understand how I even have this many style points. Yeah, look at this. You can just keep doing this. There's not really any strategy to this, honestly. There we go. A final jump. Yeah, across the finish line in style, for goodness sakes. I mean, I still ended up botching the landing, but yeah, just jump over the finish line. There was a little, like dead shrub as well that I managed to just completely fly over. Very good. Always gotta finish in style. Very nice indeed. Yeah, what about this ski lift right here? Can I collide with it head-on? Okay, yeah, it does seem like I can. So I've also heard something that apparently if you try colliding backwards into some of the trees, they'll actually turn into mushrooms. Again, I don't know how valid that claim is, but apparently this only works for some trees. Does it work with this one? No, it doesn't seem like it did. Yeah, so, okay, yeah, so the ski lift itself is solid. You can go under the, yeah, you can actually go under it, though. Oh, that guy just jumped out. There we go, just shredding on all that fresh powder. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not possible to play as the snowboarder in this game. I mean, yeah, this game's called SkiFree for a reason. Let's see if we can outrun the Yeti again. There we go. Oh, okay. Apparently, he just teleported, because I'm pretty sure you were at the top of the screen, and then somehow you wound up at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think I'm gonna call BS on that one. Unless he already called in his friend early. I don't know, maybe that was actually the second Yeti that I was supposed to avoid? I'm not sure. Because I think you have to cover a very large distance from the first Yeti in order for the second Yeti to spawn, at least from what I know. Anyway, let's try out the tree slalom here. Okay, see, I did that incorrectly because I went to the wrong side, so I got a time penalty for that. I also have no idea if all of the objects on the mountain here are procedurally generated. I think they might be, because they don't seem to be in the same place that I saw them before when I was playing the game off screen. I'm only assuming that everything here is just randomly placed by an algorithm, especially since the mountain doesn't actually end. The mountain is technically infinite because it loops on itself. But yeah, this is an example of the tree slalom course. Yeah, I ran into that dog, but all he does is he just barks at me. He's a friendly dog, okay? The dogs in this game are actually friendly because they don't trip you up at all. They don't injure you or anything. Sometimes they take a piss in the snow, but they're basically harmless other than that. So yeah, you just have to basically move around the trees pretty much. That's how you do that. Also, I went to the wrong side again because I think it I think it tricked me. I think it threw in like 2 left signs in a row. There we go. Very nice. That's my time. 1 minute and 14 seconds. So, you can't see it on the screen right now, but there is a little window that opens up whenever you finish a run, if you did decide to choose one of the 3 game modes. And there's a little screen that pops up showing you your score. So the little screen that I'm seeing right now says 1 minute 14.24 seconds, and an arrow pointing to the score, and a little bit of text near the arrow that reads, "That's you!" And it also shows me my previous high scores as well. I want to see if I can show this on the screen though, just give me a minute. Okay, here we go. So I don't know if you guys can see this on the screen right now, but there's a little window right here that says 1 minute and 14 seconds, that's you, that's your score, but then it's also showing me the score that I previously received on this same game mode. So this is just a little thing that appears whenever you, yeah, see? I can make it bigger, actually. Yeah, so this just appears whenever you finish a run. If you decided to choose a game mode, it'll show you your score that you received in that run, and also your previous scores. So I do like that, at least. It does save all of your previous scores, so you can see whether or not you actually managed to beat your previous run. You know, just a nice way of challenging yourself, but it's not really useful for anything else, though. And that's all of the game modes that you can play here in SkiFree, so let's see if we can actually... Oh my god, dude. Even when I'm, like, speeding my skier dude up right here, the snowboarders still manage to outrun him somehow. I don't understand this. Like, even when I'm jumping around here, like, how is this enough to sometimes outrun the Yeti, but not the snowboarders? Holy crap. Yeah, no wonder the snowboarders never get eaten, because they're like, they're like superhuman or something. They just got lightning fast speed. Yeah, see, right here, he just, like, he's, like, waiting for me. Yeah, see? The other guy appears, like, right below him, so I'm assuming that must be the second Yeti or something. So maybe he does actually appear, like, right next to the other guy? I have no idea. And by the way, I do want to mention that this was actually a commercial game that you could buy back in 1991. Not separately, mind you, because as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this game was only playable on the Microsoft Entertainment Pack number 3. And that Entertainment Pack also came with other games. I don't think SkiFree was ever released as a separate product. But yes, this was something that Microsoft actually released back in the early 90s. I don't believe Microsoft owns the trademark for SkiFree anymore, because I think the trademark for SkiFree ran out ever since this game was published. Because something that I do have to mention as well, that I think is important to mention, is that this game was also ported to other platforms. It wasn't available on just Windows and DOS, although it was for a pretty substantial period of time, but the game was eventually ported to the Game Boy Color in the year 2000, and it was also ported to iOS in 2013. And the iOS version had to be renamed to SkiFree, that's S-K-E-E, due to the fact that Microsoft still owned the trademark rights to the SkiFree name. And I should mention as well that the iOS port was not released by Microsoft, it was released by a company called Gearsprout. But Gearsprout couldn't use the original SkiFree name due to the fact that it was still trademarked. Ever since the trademark ran out, though, they have since updated the iOS version with its original name. But yeah, if you want to play this game on a couple of other platforms, then you absolutely can. Again, SkiFree was not released separately for the Game Boy Color either, because I think that was also featured as part of a collection of games, but the iOS port was released separately, and I think it is still available for purchase. I can definitely go and try to find it if I can. Well, I don't know why I'm saying I can definitely. I mean, I will. I will try to find it, because I want to provide you guys with as many links to where you can purchase this game on all platforms, like all the platforms it's available on, except for Game Boy Color, because with that platform in particular, I'd have to redirect you to something like eBay or Amazon. And what's also interesting too is that this wasn't even meant to be a serious game originally, because Chris Peary originally developed this game just for fun, pretty much. Like, he was doing it just to try and educate himself on game development. But apparently, the story behind this game is that somebody at Microsoft liked what Chris Peary was working on, so he ultimately decided to license the game to Microsoft, and they re-released it as part of the Microsoft Entertainment Pack 3. And the game was originally called Winski when it was still in development, but Microsoft were the ones who renamed it to SkiFree. And other than that, I don't really know what else to say about this, honestly. I think that's pretty much all there is that I can say about SkiFree. Yeah, just a very simple skiing game that, for whatever reason, a lot of people are very obsessed with, or became very obsessed with over time. I mean, it is kind of unique, admittedly, because there really aren't any other skiing games where you're trying to outrun a Yeti down a mountain. I mean, look at this, for goodness sakes. Look at this right here. Yeah, see? I mean, what other skiing game allows you to do this? Allows you to pull off, like these death-defying stunts right here, where you're not only jumping across rocks, or jumping over rocks, but you also have to outrun a freaking Yeti. 2 of them in some cases. Look at that. What other game allows you to do that? It's awesome. Well, I mean, what other sports game allows you to do that? Like, this is like an extreme sports game. Skiing alone wouldn't be anywhere near enough to hold people's attention, so what did Chris Peary decide to do? Decide to add a Yeti. You know, really switch up the gameplay and put it all the way at the bottom of the mountain so that people aren't even expecting it. So then they end up freaking out when they encountered the Yeti for the first time. It's ingenious. Absolutely ingenious. And I'm actually being, like, half serious when I say that, because, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I do actually kind of like this game. Now, for the record, SkiFree was not a game that I grew up playing, because I wasn't even alive yet back in 1991. But I had heard a lot of things about it over the past few years, probably like the past decade, because I've known about it for a long time. but I never knew how exactly to play this game myself, because I wasn't sure if I actually needed like a Windows 3.0 computer capable of running DOS in order to play this. But it turns out that that is no longer a requirement, because there has been a more modern version of SkiFree available for download on the internet since at least 2005, on the official website of the guy who originally made it, no less. And yeah, you can just download it from there, and it does work surprisingly well on modern operating systems. I'm actually surprised that a game that came out 30 years ago works without any problems whatsoever on my modern-day Windows 10 gaming laptop. It's pretty impressive. Mighty impressive, especially considering that this is a 32-bit program running on a 64-bit operating system, which in theory should not work, but somehow it just does? I don't really understand it, but I'm glad it works either way. Part of why I wanted to play this game today as well is due to the fact that I'm probably not going to be uploading any more like hour-long videos on my channel for quite some time, because you guys probably already know that the last video I uploaded before this was the Henry Stickmin collection, which was like 5.5 hours long. Actually, the longest video I've ever uploaded to my channel so far, even longer than Deltarune. So I decided that I'm not going to be uploading any videos longer than an hour for quite some time after this. So from now on, I'm just going to do videos that are under an hour long. There's still probably going to be a lot of like 40 to 50 minute videos that I end up uploading, but you know, they're going to be a lot shorter than, you know, the length that they have been as of late. So I really hope you guys appreciate that a little more, perhaps. Because again, I don't expect any of you to sit through that 5.5 hour long Henry Stickmin video, because I wouldn't even do that. I don't have the time or the patience for that, but I really just wanted to see if I could try playing through the entire game in one go, and I feel like I succeeded for the most part. I just wanted to do something special due to the fact that I really wanted to try and just redo that entire series. I just wanted to redo all of the Henry Stickmin videos that I made over the past few years, because I don't like the older videos that I did. I'm also trying to challenge myself here and see if I can actually get through the slalom course on fast mode, basically, with my super speed, and oh my god, it's failing. Oh, it's going horrible! Yeah, 1 minute and 16 seconds. Well, I mean, that's only because I got a whole bunch of time penalties, but yeah. There's gonna be a lot of shorter videos that are coming your way soon, guys. No more hour-long videos, at least for now, because I really need a break from making them. I'm gonna try and start making some nice and short videos, or some much shorter videos. More in the vein of, I guess, like my chalkboard video that I uploaded a few months ago, which was like less than 20 minutes long, even though I don't think this video is gonna be less than 20 minutes, but yeah, some of the videos that I'll be uploading within the next couple of months or so are gonna be a lot shorter. No more hour-long videos. Wow, that snowboarder just like clobbered me to death. But yeah, I'm not gonna go overboard with some of the other videos that I plan on making later on down the line. I think for the next few gameplay videos that I'm going to be uploading to the channel, I'm just going to be showing you guys everything that you need to know about the game. So like, the mechanics, and maybe just a few levels, and try not to get too carried away. Like, if I am playing something like a platformer or a puzzle game, maybe just demonstrate a few levels instead of like 30 of them. You know, just provide you guys with everything that you need to know about the game. I'm gonna be doing that for a good couple of months from this point onwards, because I really don't want to keep doing these, like, multi-hour videos all the freaking time. You guys deserve a break from that. I want to try and make some shorter, and I guess more digestible gameplay videos, if that makes any sense. And that's actually part of why I wanted to play SkiFree, because it's a very short and simple game, not a lot of features to begin with, so I figured that it would only take me about 10 or 15 minutes to explain the entirety of the game to you, and I feel like I have already accomplished that, so with that being said, I'm ending the video here. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you do enjoy the much shorter videos that are going to be coming up. Hopefully they'll be a little more watchable, I guess. I mean, you'll actually be able to sit down through the entire thing and not feel like you completely wasted your time, unlike how I treated the Henry Stickmin video. So you can look forward to that at least, and in the meantime, if you want to download SkiFree for free, the link is in the description. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video I make. Later!